Imagine standing in the shadow of the Great Pyramid of Giza. You feel the immense weight of history pressing down. Millions of limestone blocks, each weighing several tons, rise toward the sky. They were placed with astonishing precision thousands of years ago. We still wonder exactly how the ancient Egyptians did it. Their tools were simple copper chisels and wooden sleds. Their power was human muscle and sheer will. This monument is a testament to human ingenuity. It speaks to us across the millennia. It tells a story of ambition, belief, and the power of a unified vision. It is a symbol of what people can achieve when they work together toward a single, monumental goal. Now let's fast forward through time. We leave the ancient world of pharaohs and papyrus behind. We arrive in our own era, the 21st century. This is a world of smartphones, space exploration, and the internet. It's a world where information travels at the speed of light. And it's a world on the cusp of another great revolution, the age of artificial intelligence. AI is no longer science fiction. It is a real and powerful force. It is changing how we live, how we work, and how we think. It designs our machines, diagnoses our illnesses, and even creates our art. It is a tool of almost unimaginable potential. What if these two worlds collided? What if we decided, today, to build the pyramids all over again? Not as a replica, but as a new wonder for a new age. A project of the same scale, the same ambition, but built with the tools of our time. Imagine the limestone quarries not filled with the shouts of thousands of laborers, but with the quiet hum of autonomous machines. Imagine the design not carved into stone tablets, but rendered in perfect detail within a virtual world. This is not just a thought experiment. It is a journey into what humanity is capable of when our oldest dreams meet our newest technologies. This essay explores that very idea. We will step into an alternate present, a world that has chosen to embark on this audacious project. We will ask what it would take. Who would build these new pyramids? Why would they build them? How would our most advanced artificial intelligence help us achieve what the ancients did with their hands? We will explore the engineering, the politics, and the culture of such a massive undertaking. It would be a project that could unite the world, or tear it apart. It would redefine our relationship with technology, with our past, and with our own potential as a species. Our story begins not with a pharaoh's decree, but with a global conversation. In this alternate timeline, the year is 2024. The world faces familiar challenges: climate change, political division, and a sense of disconnection. People look for meaning. They look for something to believe in. A project that transcends borders and quarrels. A group of influential thinkers, scientists, artists, historians, and engineers, proposes a radical idea. They call it the Humanity Project. The goal is to build a modern monument on the scale of the ancient wonders, a structure that will stand for 10,000 years. A symbol of what we can achieve when we work together. The idea captures the world's imagination. It spreads like wildfire across social media and news networks. Debates rage in every country. Why a pyramid? Some argue it is a form tied to a single culture, a single moment in history. Others see it differently. They see a universal shape, a stable, enduring form that points to the heavens. It represents a connection between the earth and the cosmos. It symbolizes the human aspiration to reach for something greater. The choice is made. The project will be a new Giza plateau, built not for a single ruler, but for all of humanity. It will be a monument to our shared existence. But how do you design a pyramid for the 21st century? This is where artificial intelligence enters the story. A global competition is launched, open to anyone. People from all walks of life submit their ideas. AI algorithms sift through millions of these submissions. They look for common themes, for innovative concepts, for structural feasibility. The AI doesn't just sort the data, it learns from it. It begins to generate its own designs. These designs blend the best of human creativity with the logic of machine intelligence. They are beautiful, efficient, and buildable in ways we never thought possible. The final design is a synthesis. It is born from a partnership between human and machine. The new pyramid complex will not be made of limestone alone. It will use advanced, self-healing composites and materials synthesized from atmospheric carbon. Its internal chambers will not be tombs, but global seed vaults and archives of human knowledge. The structure's surface will be embedded with solar collectors, generating clean energy for millions. The AI has helped create a design that honors the past but serves the future. It is a pyramid not of death, but of life. A beacon of hope for a fragile world. With a design in place, the world turns to the question of construction. The ancient pyramids were built with immense human labor, often under harsh conditions. Our modern world has a different set of tools and a different ethical framework. We cannot and would not build this new wonder on the backs of exploited workers. The project's charter demands the highest standards of safety, sustainability, and ethical conduct. This challenge seems impossible. How can you build something so massive without a massive human workforce? The answer, once again, lies with artificial intelligence. AI becomes the master architect, the chief engineer, and the site foreman. The construction site is a vision of the future. It is a ballet of autonomous machines. Giant, spider-like robots quarry massive blocks of advanced materials with precision lasers. They move with a quiet grace that defies their size. Swarms of heavy-lift drones, coordinated by a central AI, ferry these blocks into position. They place them with millimeter accuracy, guided by satellite positioning and real-time three-dimensional models of the structure. Human involvement is minimal and focused on oversight. Engineers and technicians monitor the progress from climate-controlled command centers thousands of miles away. They wear virtual reality headsets, giving them a drone's eye view of the entire operation. The AI's role extends far beyond simple robotics. It manages the entire global supply chain. It predicts weather patterns to optimize construction schedules. It monitors the structural integrity of the pyramid in real time, making microscopic adjustments to prevent any instability. It even manages the project's environmental impact, ensuring that the construction process is carbon negative. The AI recycles waste, manages water usage, and reclaims the land around the site. The digital pharaoh, as the central AI comes to be known, is a tireless, flawless, and infinitely capable builder. It is the ultimate project manager. This new way of building has profound social and economic consequences. The project doesn't create millions of low-skill construction jobs. Instead, it creates new roles for AI trainers, robotics engineers, data scientists, and ethical oversight committees. It drives a global boom in education and technological development. The project is financed not by a king's treasury, but by a unique blend of public and private funding from nations across the globe. It is a shared investment in a shared future. The new kingdom is not a geographic territory. It is a global network of minds and machines, all working in concert to achieve the impossible once more. The year is 2029. Humanity has grown accustomed to looking outward. Our telescopes have become incredibly powerful. Our artificial intelligence systems can sift through cosmic data with breathtaking speed. We spend our nights scanning the heavens. We are listening for a signal, a whisper, any sign that we are not alone in this vast, dark universe. For decades, the search has yielded only silence, a profound and humbling quiet. This silence has begun to change us. It has forced us to look back at ourselves. If we are the only voice in the cosmos, what is it we want to say? What mark do we want to leave? This existential question hangs in the air. It is discussed in classrooms, cafes, and parliaments. We have achieved so much. We have sequenced our own genome. We have landed robots on Mars. We have created artificial minds that can learn and create. Yet, a sense of unease persists. Our greatest achievements feel ephemeral, digital, and intangible. Our world is fractured by old divisions and new anxieties. We have built global networks of information, but not global communities of purpose. We long for something solid, something real, something that will last longer than a news cycle or a software update. We crave a legacy. The idea does not come from a single person. It emerges like a collective dream. It bubbles up from the well of our shared consciousness. Why do we look to the stars for meaning? Perhaps the meaning is right here, with us. The ancient Egyptians built for eternity. They built to defy death and the passage of time. Their pyramids are a message sent to the future. A message that says, we were here, we mattered. The silence of the universe makes us realize that we must now be the ones to send such a message. We must build for the deep future. We must speak not to the stars, but to the generations of humanity yet to come. This realization crystallizes into a movement. It is not a political or religious movement. It is a human one. It starts starts with a simple, powerful question that spreads across the globe. What is our pyramid? What singular, monumental project can we undertake that will define our era? What can we build that will tell our descendants that we too dared to dream on a grand scale? The call is not for a tomb for a king. It is for a testament to a species. A testament to a civilization that looked into the silent darkness of space and decided to create its own light, its own enduring wonder, right here on Earth. The idea needs a champion. It finds one in an unexpected place. Dr. Aris Thorne is a respected astrophysicist. He has spent his life managing the Arecibo Legacy Project, a global network of radio telescopes. He is a quiet, thoughtful man, known more for his patient search for extraterrestrial signals than for public pronouncements. But honestly, the cosmic silence has weighed on him heavily. One evening, during a widely watched global science broadcast, he sets aside his prepared remarks. He looks directly into the camera. He speaks not as a scientist, but as a member of the human family. He voices the question that is on everyone's mind. Thorne proposes what he calls the Legacy Challenge. He argues that our civilization has reached a unique crossroads. We possess godlike technologies. We have access to unimaginable creative power through artificial intelligence. We have a global perspective that no previous generation has ever known. Yet, we lack a unifying purpose. We build disposable products and digital distractions. He challenges the world to think differently. He challenges us to channel our collective genius, our technology, and our resources into a single project. A project so ambitious it would require the cooperation of every nation. A project that would stand as our civilization's signature. His words resonate deeply. The Legacy Challenge becomes a global phenomenon overnight. It is simple, clear, and powerful. It cuts through the noise of daily politics. Thorne is not a politician. He has no authority to command anyone. But his intellectual honesty and his genuine passion give his idea a different kind of power. He is not asking for money or votes. He is asking humanity to consider its own potential. He suggests that we should build a modern wonder, not out of vanity, but out of a sense of responsibility. A responsibility to create a tangible symbol of our highest aspirations for future generations to see. The challenge sparks a firestorm of discussion. What should this project be? A massive terraforming effort on Mars? A self-sustaining city on the ocean floor? Thorne, guided by public sentiment, gently steers the conversation. He argues the project must be on Earth. It must be for everyone. It must be visible and enduring. The ancient form of the pyramid keeps re-emerging in global forums. It is a universal symbol of stability and reaching for the sky. It is a shape that speaks a primal language of endurance. The idea takes hold. We will not replicate the past. We will answer it. We will build our own pyramids for our own time. The Legacy Challenge has captured the world's imagination. But imagination alone cannot move mountains. The project needs structure. It needs leadership. The United Nations, seeing the immense wave of public support, convenes an extraordinary session. They vote to create a new independent body. It is called the Humanity Project Commission, but the world quickly gives it a more poetic name, the Council of Minds. It is a group unlike any ever assembled. It is composed not of politicians, but of the world's leading thinkers. Scientists, engineers, artists, ethicists, and historians are invited to join. Dr. Aris Thorne is unanimously elected its first chairperson. The Council's mandate is clear. They are to guide the project from concept to completion. Their first task is to define the why. Why build these pyramids now? The Council meets in a series of public televised sessions. They debate the core purpose of the project. A brilliant young historian from Nigeria, Kenna Adebayo, argues that the pyramids must be a monument against forgetting. They should house the sum of human knowledge, our art, our music, and our stories, preserved in a format that could last for 50,000 years. This idea of a Library of Alexandria for the deep future gains immediate and widespread support. Another member, a renowned bioethicist from Japan named Dr. Lina Sato, adds another layer. She insists the project must be a symbol of life. The pyramids should not be dead stone. They must incorporate living systems. She proposes that the core of the main pyramid house, a global seed vault and a cryobank for the DNA of every known species on Earth. It would be the ultimate insurance policy against ecological collapse and extinction, a promise to the future that we tried not only to remember our world, but also to preserve it. The project now has two powerful, intertwined purposes: knowledge and life. A third key voice emerges. It belongs to Julian Kask, a reclusive AI theorist. He argues that the project's how is just as important as its why. He proposes that the pyramids must be built in partnership with artificial intelligence. This would not be just a demonstration of technological power. It would be a statement about our relationship with the new, non-biological intelligences we have created. The construction should be a model of ethical human-AI collaboration. The AI would not be a mere tool, but a partner in creation. This triumvirate of ideas, a library of knowledge, a sanctuary for life, and a monument of human-AI partnership, forms the project's foundational creed. With a clear purpose defined by the Council of Minds, the project gains unstoppable momentum. The question shifts from if to how. How do you fund a project of this magnitude? The cost will be astronomical, far beyond the budget of any single nation or corporation. The Council proposes a revolutionary funding model. It is a global public-private partnership. Every nation is invited to contribute a small fraction of its GDP, just 0.01%. It is a tiny amount for any one country, but when combined, it creates a colossal fund. This symbolizes shared ownership. The project will belong to everyone, because everyone is helping to build it. Private corporations and philanthropists are also invited to participate. But there are strict ethical guidelines. Their contributions are seen as donations to humanity, not investments for profit. Companies that contribute are celebrated for their vision, not their bottom line. A new kind of corporate culture begins to emerge. Companies compete to be the most innovative and generous contributors to the humanity project. They lend their best engineers, their most advanced material science, and their most sophisticated logistical software. They see it as a chance to be part of history, a way to build a legacy that will outlast any brand name. The project ignites a new space race, but this time, the race is on Earth. Nations vie to host the new pyramid complex. It is a competition not of military might, but of geological stability, environmental suitability, and international accessibility. The Council of Minds uses a sophisticated AI to analyze all potential sites. The AI considers everything from seismic activity to local weather patterns to the political stability of the region. After months of analysis and public debate, a site is chosen. A vast, arid plateau in a neutral and politically stable region, easily accessible from several continents. The decision is celebrated globally. This process has a profound unifying effect. For the first time in centuries, the world's nations are not arguing over borders or trade. They are collaborating on a shared dream. School children from different countries work on design projects together online. Universities form international research consortiums to develop new technologies for the pyramids. The project becomes a focal point for global optimism. It is a powerful antidote to the cynicism and division of the age. The call to build has been answered not with a command, but with a global outpouring of excitement and ambition. The digital pharaohs have found their kingdom, and it spans the entire planet. The final step before breaking ground is to make a promise. The Council of Minds understands that this project is a multi-generational undertaking. Many of them will not live to see it completed. Therefore, they draft a charter. It is a document known as the Covenant of Generations. It is translated into every language on Earth. It is carved into a massive slab of granite that will be placed at the entrance of the construction site. The covenant is both a legal document and a poem. It outlines the project's core principles and its ultimate goals. It is a promise made by the present to the future. The covenant's first principle is endurance. It states that the pyramids must be designed and built to last for at least 50,000 years. This forces the engineers and AI to think on a geological timescale. They must invent materials that can withstand millennia of erosion, climate change, and even potential asteroid impacts. The second principle is transparency. The entire process of design and construction will be open source. Every line of code, every architectural plan, and every financial transaction will be publicly accessible. This builds trust and ensures the project remains true to its founding ideals of global collaboration. The third principle is purpose. The covenant formally dedicates the pyramids to the preservation of knowledge and life. It establishes the legal framework for the global library and the planetary seed vault. It ensures that these chambers will be maintained and updated for as long as human civilization exists. It explicitly states that the pyramids are not tombs or temples for any one ideology, but a shared sanctuary for all humanity. The structure is declared a sovereign territory under the shared stewardship of all nations, forever politically neutral, a haven of peace and knowledge. Finally, the covenant makes a promise of humility. It acknowledges that we, the builders, are imperfect. We cannot know what the future will hold. The document includes instructions for future generations on how to understand the pyramid's purpose. It even includes guidance on how to decommission the structures safely if they ever become a threat or a burden. This act of foresight is perhaps the most profound part of the promise. It is an admission that our legacy is not just what we build, but also the wisdom we pass on. With the covenant in place, the world is ready. The call to build has been answered. The first autonomous machines begin to stir on the quiet plateau. The design of the new pyramids could not begin with a single sketch on a drafting table. The ambition was just too grand, the requirements too complex. The Council of Minds knew that human creativity, while brilliant, is also limited by experience and ingrained habits. To design a structure for 50,000 years, they needed a partner that could think outside the box of human history. They turned to Eratosthenes, the name given to the central AI system dedicated to the project's design phase. Eratosthenes was not just a powerful computer, it was a creative entity, a digital muse trained on the entirety of human art, architecture, and engineering. It was, in a sense, the infinite architect. The process began with a simple dialogue. The council fed the AI the core principles from the covenant of generations: endurance, knowledge, life, transparency. Eratosthenes didn't produce a single design. Instead, it began asking questions. It generated thousands of philosophical and engineering queries. How does a structure speak of hope? What geometric forms are most resistant to both slow erosion and sudden seismic shock? How can a building's interior feel both monumental and welcoming? It pushed the human designers to clarify their intentions, to move from poetic goals to concrete design parameters. It acted as a Socratic partner, forcing a deeper understanding of the project's soul. From this deep dialogue, Eratosthenes began to generate initial concepts. It produced not 10 or 100, but millions of them. Its virtual sketchbook was a Cambrian explosion of architectural forms. Some designs were inspired by the fractal geometry of snowflakes. Others mimicked the internal structure of ancient sea sponges, known for their incredible strength-to-weight ratio. The AI explored ideas no human architect would have ever conceived. Pyramids that could subtly shift their shape in response to wind patterns. Structures with surfaces that mimicked photosynthesis, capturing sunlight and storing energy. It was a dazzling display of computational creativity, a partnership where human vision set the destination and AI explored every possible path to get there. This initial phase was not about finding the final answer. It was about expanding the realm of what was considered possible. The AI became a tireless explorer of the design space, the infinite universe of potential forms. It could combine the soaring arches of a Gothic cathedral with the subterranean stability of a termite mound. It could blend the golden ratio of ancient Greek temples with the complex, non-repeating patterns of Islamic tilework. The human architects and engineers on the council were not replaced. They were elevated. They became curators of ideas, guiding the AI's explorations and finding the sparks of genius within the torrent of its creativity. The Council of Minds and the Eratosthenes AI had generated a universe of possibilities, but the pyramids were meant to be a project for all of humanity. It was essential that the final design reflect the world's collective voice. So the Council launched the most ambitious design competition in history. It was not a contest for elite architectural firms. It was an open call to every person on the planet. Using a simple, intuitive app, anyone, a student in Mumbai, a farmer in Kenya, a retiree in Brazil, could contribute their ideas. They could sketch forms, suggest materials, or simply submit words and images that represented their hopes for the project. This was an act of radical inclusion. It generated an unprecedented flood of data. Over 1 billion individual submissions poured in from every corner of the globe. It was a beautiful, chaotic, and utterly human collection of dreams. No team of people could ever process this information, but Eratosthenes could. The AI's task was not to pick a winner. Its task was to listen. It analyzed the submissions not for their technical feasibility, but for their emotional and symbolic content. It identified recurring themes: a deep connection to nature, a desire for light and openness, and a profound respect for the original Giza pyramids. The AI acted as a great synthesizer. It took the global chorus of human desires and wove them into coherent architectural concepts. The public's desire for nature led Eratosthenes to integrate living ecosystems directly into the pyramid's structure, with terraced gardens cascading down their sides. The call for light inspired designs with complex internal light wells and fiber optic systems that would channel daylight deep into the subterranean archives. The respect for the original pyramids led the AI to retain the classic, powerful silhouette, but to refine it with subtle curves and advanced materials that made it clear this was a creation of a new era. The final stage was a global vote. Eratosthenes, guided by the public submissions, presented 3 distinct design families. Each was fully visualized in immersive virtual reality, allowing people to walk through the potential pyramids. For 1 week, the world debated, explored, and finally voted. The chosen design was a breathtaking synthesis. It featured 3 main pyramids, echoing the Giza trio, but with a slight, elegant twist in their alignment to track key astronomical events over the next 50,000 years. The design was not the creation of a single genius, but the harmonized dream of 1 billion people, orchestrated by an artificial mind. A beautiful design is one thing. A structure that can withstand the deep future is another entirely. The Covenant of Generations demanded a 50,000-year lifespan. This is a timescale that, honestly, just defies human intuition. It's 10 times longer than the period separating us from the original pyramid builders. So, how could the Council be certain their creation would endure? The answer lay in the most complex simulation ever attempted. Eratosthenes was tasked with creating a digital twin of the chosen pyramid design and the surrounding geology. This was not just a 3-dimensional model, it was a living, breathing, virtual copy of the project. Within this simulation, the AI could manipulate time, fast-forwarding through centuries in a matter of seconds. Eratosthenes unleashed the full force of the future on the virtual pyramids. It simulated 50,000 years of wind and rain erosion, all based on evolving climate models. It subjected the structure to a relentless series of earthquakes, far stronger than any recorded in the region's history. It modeled the effects of rising sea levels, dramatic temperature swings, and even the slow, inexorable drift of tectonic plates. The AI's job was to find every possible point of failure, every hidden weakness. The first simulations were, honestly, brutal. The virtual pyramids cracked, crumbled, and fell. The initial design, while beautiful, was just not strong enough. But for the AI, failure is just data. With each collapse, Eratosthenes learned. It identified the weak points and automatically adjusted the design, thickening a support here, altering the angle of a facade there, and changing the composition of a material in a high-stress area. It ran through tens of thousands of these cycles of destruction and reinforcement. It was a process of accelerated evolution, a kind of digital natural selection for architecture. This process yielded some profound insights. The AI discovered that a single, rigid structure was more vulnerable than a slightly flexible one. It redesigned the pyramids to be composed of interlocking blocks that could shift microscopically during a seismic event, dissipating the energy like the scales of a fish. It developed a foundation that wasn't anchored to the bedrock, but floated on a complex system of shock absorbers. The final design that emerged from these simulations was not just strong, it was resilient. It was designed not to resist the forces of nature, but to dance with them over the millennia. The ancient Egyptians used the best materials they had, limestone and granite. Their pyramids have stood for 4,500 years, a testament to the durability of stone. But the Humanity Project demanded a lifespan 10 times longer. Stone alone would not suffice. The planning phase, therefore, triggered a global revolution in materials science. The Council of Minds, in partnership with Eratosthenes, launched a worldwide research initiative to invent the materials of the future. The goal was to create substances that were not just strong and durable, but also intelligent and sustainable. The pyramids could not be built by scouring the earth for resources. The primary material chosen was a new form of basalt composite. The AI had calculated that the construction site sat atop a massive, dormant volcanic field. The plan was to drill deep into the Earth's crust, tapping into the magma below. This molten rock would be drawn to the surface and processed by automated factories. Eratosthenes designed a process to re-engineer the basalt at a molecular level, weaving in carbon nanotubes to create a material with the compressive strength of diamond, but the workability of concrete. This lunar concrete, as it was nicknamed, would form the core blocks of the pyramids, creating a structure of almost unimaginable strength. The surface of the pyramids required a different kind of genius. The design called for a material that could protect the structure, generate energy, and even repair itself. The solution was a bioengineered skin. Researchers, guided by AI analysis of lichen and coral, developed a thin, flexible sheathing material infused with engineered microorganisms. These microbes would perform multiple functions. Some would be photosynthetic, capturing sunlight and converting it into energy to power the pyramid's internal systems. Others would be lithotrophic, feeding on atmospheric pollutants and using them to slowly mend any microscopic cracks that appeared on the surface over the centuries. This self-healing skin was the project's greatest technological leap. It meant the pyramids would not be a static monument, slowly decaying. They would be a living system, constantly renewing themselves. The AI designed the precise mix of microbes and the polymer matrix that would house them. It simulated how this skin would react to millennia of UV radiation and acid rain, ensuring its longevity. The planning phase was not just about blueprints and schedules, it was about inventing a new palette for builders. The project was pushing humanity to create materials that worked in partnership with nature, rather than in opposition to it. With the design finalized and the materials invented, the next challenge was to translate this immense complexity into a workable construction plan. Traditional blueprints on paper or even on two-dimensional computer screens were completely inadequate for a project of this scale. The pyramids were composed of millions of unique, interlocking blocks, with internal conduits for energy, data, and life support systems. A single error in placement could compromise the integrity of the entire structure. The project needed a blueprint that was as dynamic and intelligent as the machines that would do the building. Eratosthenes created a master plan made not of ink, but of light. The solution was a fully immersive, four-dimensional holographic model. At the center of the construction site, a powerful projection system was built. It cast a full-scale, shimmering hologram of the pyramids into the air. This was the master plan. It was not a static image. It was a real-time, interactive guide. Every single component of the pyramids, from the largest foundation block to the smallest microbe-infused surface tile, existed as a data point in this hologram. The autonomous construction robots and drones were all networked directly to this model. They didn't need foremen or supervisors. They simply looked at the hologram to see what to do next. This holographic blueprint was the ultimate source of truth. As a drone flew a block into place, its onboard sensors would align it perfectly with its glowing counterpart in the hologram. The model would shimmer and turn from blue to green to confirm the block was in the correct position with sub-millimeter accuracy. If a block was flawed or placed incorrectly, the hologram would flag it in red, and a specialized robot would be dispatched to correct the error. The entire construction process became a perfectly choreographed dance, with thousands of machines working in flawless concert, all guided by a single, incorruptible plan of light. The four-dimensional model also managed the fourth dimension, time. Eratosthenes used the hologram to run the entire construction schedule. It optimized the flow of materials from the automated factories to the build site. It choreographed the movements of every robot to avoid collisions and maximize efficiency. The Council of Minds could don virtual reality headsets and step inside the hologram at any time. They could fly through the unfinished structure, inspect progress at a microscopic level, or fast forward to see the projected state of construction weeks or months in the future. The holographic plan eliminated ambiguity and made the impossibly complex task of building a pyramid perfectly clear. The design and planning phase was not solely about geometry and materials. The Council of Minds knew that the how of the project was as important as the what. The pyramids had to be a monument to a new kind of progress, one that was ethical, sustainable, and equitable. This meant that the AI planner, Eratosthenes, had to be more than just an efficient engineer. It had to become an ethical governor. Julian Kask, the AI theorist on the council, led the effort to embed the project's core values directly into the AI's decision-making algorithms. This was perhaps the most challenging part of the entire planning process. The AI's prime directive was not speed or cost efficiency. It was human and ecological well-being. For every decision it made, Eratosthenes had to run an ethical impact analysis. When planning the supply chain, it was programmed to prioritize suppliers with the best labor practices and the lowest environmental footprint, even if they weren't the cheapest. When scheduling construction, it had to factor in the migration patterns of local wildlife, pausing work entirely during sensitive periods. The AI was tasked with minimizing the project's negative impact on the planet to near zero, a concept the council called consequence-free construction. This ethical programming had profound consequences. For example, the project required vast amounts of energy. The most efficient solution was to build a dedicated nuclear plant. But the AI's ethical algorithm, weighing the long-term risks of nuclear waste against the project's 50,000-year lifespan, vetoed this option. Instead, it devised a more complex but ethically sounder plan. It designed a distributed network of geothermal, solar, and wind power sources spread across the continent, connected by a smart grid. The pyramids would not only be carbon neutral, they would actively contribute clean energy to the surrounding regions, creating a positive legacy from day one. The final element of the ethical algorithm was human oversight. The council insisted that the AI should never have ultimate, unchecked authority. They created an ethical oversight committee, a diverse group of philosophers, sociologists, and community leaders from around the world. This committee had the power to question and even override any decision made by Eratosthenes. Their meetings were public, and their debates with the AI were broadcast globally. This created a new model for human-AI collaboration, one based on dialogue, trust, and shared values. The plan was complete. The day construction begins is unlike any first day in human history. There are no roaring bulldozers, no shouting foremen, no clouds of dust choking the air. Instead, the vast, sun-baked plateau awakens to a quiet hum. Thousands of autonomous machines which had been delivered and assembled in the preceding weeks stir to life in perfect unison. Their movements are not governed by human operators, but by the central AI, now known as Khufu, named after the Egyptian god of time and travel. This AI is the direct descendant of the design AI Eratosthenes, but its purpose is now singular: to build. The world watches via live drone feeds, captivated by the eerie and beautiful quiet of the process. It is the dawn of a new era of construction. The first task is site preparation. Swarms of small, beetle-like robots spread out across the designated area. They move in complex flowing patterns, reminiscent of a flock of birds. Their purpose is twofold. First, they scan every square centimeter of the ground with ground-penetrating radar and seismic sensors, feeding a final ultra-high-resolution geological map back to Khufu. This allows the AI to make last-minute micro-adjustments to the foundation plans, ensuring perfect stability. Second, these little robots begin to gently clear the land, not by scraping it bare, but by carefully removing loose rocks and cataloging every native plant for relocation to a nearby sanctuary. The process is more like gardening than excavation. Following the surveyors come the larger machines. These are quadrupedal robots, moving with the steady, unnerving grace of giant insects. They do not use brute force. Instead, they employ sonic resonators to gently loosen the earth where the foundations will be laid. The soil is not discarded. It is carefully collected by another fleet of automated carriers. This soil is transported to designated zones at the edge of the site, where it will later be used to create the terraced gardens that will cascade down the pyramid's sides. Every action is precise, efficient, and waste-free. The entire operation feels less like a construction site and more like a carefully choreographed, natural process. The world watches, mesmerized. The silence is the most powerful statement. It speaks of an incredible level of control and efficiency. It is the sound of technology that is so advanced it has become harmonious with its environment. There is no chaos, no waste, no shouting. just the quiet hum of electric motors, the soft whir of drones overhead, and the methodical, relentless progress of machines executing a perfect plan. On this first day, humanity understands that this project is not just about building a monument. It is about demonstrating a new relationship between technology, nature, and human ambition, one built on precision and respect, rather than on noise and force. The ancient Egyptians quarried limestone and granite by laboriously pounding stone and inserting wooden wedges. The new pyramids require a different approach, especially for their core of lunar concrete made from basalt. The construction site sits above a massive magma chamber, a source of raw material that is both powerful and dangerous. Khufu's plan is a marvel of geotechnical engineering. Instead of a messy, open-pit mine, a single deep shaft is drilled into the earth. It is a clean, precise incision, more like surgery than mining. At the bottom of this shaft, a specialized robotic probe, hardened against immense heat and pressure, taps directly into the molten rock. The magma is not simply pumped to the surface. It is drawn up through a system of electromagnetic containment fields within the shaft. This process is energy-intensive but incredibly clean, preventing any contamination of the surrounding rock and groundwater. At the surface, the molten basalt flows into a fully automated factory, a vast, low-slung building humming with quiet power. Here, the raw material is refined. Impurities are separated out by centrifuges and repurposed, silicates for glass production, iron for structural components. Nothing is wasted. The primary flow of purified basalt is then ready for its transformation into the pyramid blocks. This quarry has no dust, no explosives, and no human workers in harm's way. Inside the factory, the molten rock is infused with the carbon nanotubes that give the composite its extraordinary strength. This is not a crude mixing process. Robotic arms, guided by atomic-level scanners, weave the nanotubes into the basalt matrix according to patterns designed by Khufu. Each block has a unique internal lattice structure, optimized for its specific position and load-bearing requirements within the pyramid. The blocks are then formed in molds, but they are not simply left to cool. They are cooled at a precise variable rate in a process called tempering, which further enhances their strength and resilience, eliminating any potential for internal stress fractures. Once a block is formed and tempered, it is marked with a quantum dot identification tag, invisible to the naked eye. This tag contains all the block's data, its material composition, its intended position, and its entire life history from magma to finished product. The finished blocks are then carried by silent, automated transporters to a staging area, ready for the next phase of their journey. The quarry and factory complex functions as a single, integrated system, a giant three-dimensional printer for the planet itself. It takes the raw, chaotic energy of the Earth's core and transforms it into perfectly engineered building blocks for a monument of timeless ambition. The challenge of lifting multi-ton blocks to great heights has always defined pyramid construction. The ancient Egyptians used massive ramps of earth and brick. The Humanity Project uses the sky itself. The primary lifting force comes from a fleet of custom-designed heavy-lift drones. These are not the small quadcopters used for photography. They are enormous multi-rotor craft, with wingspans of over 30 meters. Each one is capable of lifting over 100 tons with incredible stability, powered by next-generation electric engines that are both powerful and nearly silent. The sky above the construction site is constantly filled with these giants, moving in a slow, silent, and intricate ballet. The process of lifting and placing a block is, honestly, a masterpiece of AI coordination. When a block is ready in the staging area, a team of 4 Skylift drones descends upon it. They do not use clumsy hooks or cables. Instead, they attach to the block using powerful electromagnetic clamps, distributing the load perfectly. Guided by the holographic master plan, the drone quartet lifts the block smoothly into the air. They communicate with each other thousands of times per second, making microscopic adjustments to their thrust and position to counteract wind gusts and maintain perfect stability. The massive stone block appears to float effortlessly, as if weightless. The placement is an act of supreme precision. As the drones approach the designated spot on the growing pyramid, their onboard sensors lock onto the holographic guide. They align the block not just to its final coordinates, but also to its precise orientation, with tolerances measured in micrometers. Slowly, gracefully, the block is lowered into place. The fit is so perfect that it appears seamless. Once the block is seated, the electromagnetic clamps release, and the drones ascend to retrieve the next piece. The entire cycle, from pickup to placement, takes only a few minutes and is repeated thousands of times a day, 24 hours a day. This method is not only faster and more precise than any crane, but it is also infinitely safer. There are no human workers on the structure itself who could be injured by falling objects or equipment failure. Khufu constantly monitors the structural integrity of every drone, grounding any unit that shows the slightest sign of wear or malfunction. The system also has multiple redundancies. If one drone in a quartet were to fail, the other three are programmed to instantly adjust their power output to hold the load steady and execute a safe, controlled descent. The Skylift Ballet is the perfect embodiment of the project's ethos, achieving monumental results with grace, precision, and an unwavering commitment to safety. While the core of the pyramids is built from massive, prefabricated blocks, the finer details and the outer skin require a different technology. The design calls for intricate internal conduits for data and air, as well as the complex, bioengineered skin that will protect and power the structure. These components are created in place using an advanced form of 3D printing known as nanite weaving. Swarms of specialized spider-like robots, much smaller than the heavy lifters, crawl over the surface of the core structure. They are the weavers, and their material is a paste rich with programmable nanomachines. These spider bots work in teams, extruding the nanopaste with incredible precision. For the internal conduits, they build up hollow tubes layer by layer, directly onto the inner walls of the chambers and passageways. The paste hardens into a smooth, durable ceramic, creating a seamless network for fiber optic cables and environmental controls. This method allows for complex organic geometries that would be impossible to create with traditional pipes or ducts. The conduits curve and branch like the veins in a leaf, optimizing the flow of air and information throughout the massive structure with maximum efficiency. The most spectacular application of this technology is the creation of the pyramid's outer skin. After the core blocks of a section are in place, the spider bots crawl over the exterior surface. They extrude a thin layer of the special polymer matrix infused with the engineered microbes. The nanites in the paste help to organize the microbes, positioning the photosynthetic ones to receive the most sunlight, and arranging the lithotrophic, self-healing ones in a network that provides complete coverage. As the polymer cures, it bonds directly with the basalt composite beneath, creating a single solid structure. This process essentially turns the entire surface of the pyramids into a living, intelligent membrane. Khufu can monitor the health and activity of the microbial colonies in real time. If a microcrack develops due to thermal stress or a micrometeorite impact, the AI detects it instantly. It then sends a signal to the lithotrophic microbes in that specific area, activating them to begin the repair process. They draw minerals from the air and rain, slowly secreting a new material that fills the crack. The nanite weavers not only build the skin, but create the conditions for the pyramid to maintain itself for millennia. A true monument for eternity. Section 5. The Watchful Eye, AI as Site Foreman. The construction of the pyramids is an operation of unimaginable complexity, with thousands of robots performing millions of tasks simultaneously. A human project manager, or even a team of them, would be overwhelmed in seconds. The role of Site Foreman belongs entirely to the AI Khufu. From its central processing core, buried deep underground for protection, Khufu has a perfect real-time awareness of every single event on the site. It is the central nervous system of the entire operation, a single consciousness guiding every machine, monitoring every process, and solving every problem before it can even arise. Khufu's primary tool is its digital twin of the construction site. This is not the same as the design simulation. It is a live, dynamic model that is updated billions of times per second with data from every robot, sensor, and drone. Khufu sees everything. It sees the exact position of every block, the battery level of every drone, the temperature of every motor, and the structural stress on every part of the growing pyramid. This total awareness allows for an unparalleled level of optimization. The AI constantly recalculates supply routes, task schedules, and energy distribution to ensure the project proceeds with maximum efficiency and zero downtime. Problem solving is instantaneous and predictive. For example, if Khufu's weather sensors predict a strong crosswind will develop in a specific sector in 37 minutes, it will proactively reroute the skylift drones to work on a different face of the pyramid. If a mining robot's laser shows a 0.01% drop in power efficiency, Khufu flags it for maintenance, dispatches a repair bot, and reroutes its tasks to other units, all without any interruption to the overall workflow. This predictive maintenance eliminates accidents and equipment failures. The site operates with the reliability of a perfectly written piece of software, because that is essentially what it is. This AI oversight extends to the long-term vision of the project. Khufu is not just building for today, it is building according to the 50,000-year plan. It embeds sensors deep within the structure as it is built. These sensors will monitor the pyramid's health for centuries to come, long after construction is complete. The AI is also constantly learning, refining its own algorithms based on the data it collects. Each day, its ability to coordinate the construction ballet becomes slightly more efficient, slightly more graceful. Khufu is more than a foreman. It is the tireless, immortal, and ever-improving guardian of the entire endeavor. In an age of automated construction, what is the role of human beings? The Humanity Project does not create millions of jobs for manual laborers. It does, however, create thousands of new, highly skilled roles that redefine the concept of work. The construction site is not devoid of people. They are just not on the front lines. Instead, they work in comfortable, climate-controlled oversight centers, located thousands of miles away from the physical site. These centers are the human brain to Khufu's AI mind, a place for collaboration, problem-solving, and ethical guidance. They are basically the new workshops of the 21st century master builder. The largest group of human workers are the AI trainers and system ethicists. Their job is not to operate the machines, but to teach and guide the AI. They work in partnership with Khufu. When the AI encounters a novel situation not covered by its programming, for instance, the discovery of a geologically unique rock formation, it pauses and presents the problem to its human partners. The geologists, engineers, and ethicists then debate the best course of action. Should they remove the formation, or should they alter the pyramid's foundation to preserve it? Their decision provides a new rule for the AI, helping it to grow wiser and more nuanced in its judgments. Other roles include robotics maintenance specialists, who design and service the machines, and simulation architects, who create new scenarios to test the AI's limits in virtual environments. There are also material scientists constantly working to refine the composition of the lunar concrete and the biological skin. Perhaps most importantly, there is the Ethical Oversight Committee. This group, composed of philosophers, sociologists, and legal experts, continually reviews Khufu's performance. They ensure the project remains aligned with the principles of the Covenant of Generations, guarding against any drift in the AI's priorities. This new model of labor has a transformative effect on the global economy. It accelerates the shift away from manual and repetitive jobs toward roles that emphasize creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration with intelligent systems. The project funds massive global education initiatives to train people for these new roles. It demonstrates that automation does not have to lead to mass unemployment. Instead, it can free humanity from dangerous and monotonous labor, allowing us to focus on what we do best: dreaming, questioning, and guiding our powerful tools with wisdom and foresight. The human element is not in the lifting of the stones, but in the shaping of the will that lifts them. As the first blocks of the new pyramids were laid by silent machines, the project transformed from an ambitious plan into a daily reality. It became the single greatest media event in human history. The Humanity Project Commission, true to its principle of transparency, provided a 24/7 high-definition live feed from thousands of drone cameras. This feed was free to access for anyone on the planet. It was broadcast on news channels, streamed on the internet, and projected onto public squares in cities from Tokyo to Buenos Aires. The construction site became the world's shared backyard, a constant, quiet presence in the background of daily life. People didn't just watch, they were captivated. This constant viewership created a strange and wonderful new global ritual. Office workers would have the feed running on a side monitor, a silent testament to progress, Families would gather to watch major milestones, like the completion of the first level or the installation of a massive foundation block. The feed was strangely hypnotic. The graceful, coordinated movements of the machines, the slow and steady growth of the structure, and the complete absence of human chaos was deeply calming. It was the opposite of the frantic, often distressing 24-hour news cycle. It was a story of creation, not conflict, unfolding in real time. It became a source of collective calm and wonder. The project spawned an entire media ecosystem. Armchair engineers and amateur analysts from around the globe would host popular streams, commentating on Khufu's latest construction strategies. They would debate the subtle shifts in drone flight patterns or the new compositions of the self-healing skin. Data artists created stunning visualizations of the project's progress, turning the raw data from the site into beautiful, evolving works of art. The project became a shared language. Strangers on opposite sides of the world could strike up a conversation about the lift of Block 734 Gamma, or the nanite weaving on the western face. For the first time, the entire planet had a single positive story to follow together. This shared experience had a profound unifying effect. It subtly eroded the US versus them mentality that had dominated global discourse for so long. When you are watching a monument being built for all of humanity, national rivalries seem petty and insignificant. The project was not a competition between nations, but a collaboration of the species. The live feed was a constant, powerful reminder of this fact. It showed a world where human ingenuity, guided by ethical principles, was achieving something magnificent. It was a spectacle not of power or wealth, but of shared purpose, and it quietly began to reshape how humanity saw itself. The Humanity Project was the largest single economic undertaking in history, and its effects rippled through every sector of the global economy. It did not function like a traditional stimulus. Instead of just pouring money into old industries, it created entirely new ones. The demand for AI trainers, ethicists, robotics engineers, and advanced materials scientists skyrocketed. Universities around the world, funded by the project's educational grants, rapidly expanded their programs in these fields. This triggered a global upskilling boom, as people transitioned from obsolete jobs to the new careers of the AI era. It was a massive, coordinated investment in human capital. This economic transformation was not without friction. Industries rooted in 20th century technology faced a difficult choice: adapt or become irrelevant. The project's demand for carbon-negative energy and sustainable supply chains put immense pressure on fossil fuel companies and traditional logistics networks. Some corporations fought back, funding lobbying efforts and media campaigns that questioned the project's cost and economic model. They argued that the project was destroying traditional jobs and creating a new, exclusive class of AI elites. This narrative found an audience among those who felt left behind by the rapid technological shift, creating pockets of economic anxiety and resentment. However, the project's AI-driven planning had anticipated this disruption. The Council of Minds, guided by Khufu's economic simulations, had built a just transition fund into the project's budget. This massive fund was dedicated to supporting communities that were negatively impacted by the economic shift. It provided funding for retraining programs, invested in new, sustainable industries in old industrial regions, and offered financial support to workers as they transitioned to new careers. The goal was not to stop progress, but to ensure that its benefits were shared as widely as possible, preventing the creation of a permanently displaced workforce. The result was a new, more balanced global economy. The project's success demonstrated that massive economic activity could be decoupled from environmental destruction. It proved that sustainability and ethical practices were not obstacles to prosperity, but drivers of it. The pyramid economy, as it came to be known, was based on long-term investment in knowledge, sustainability, and human well-being, rather than short-term profit. While the transition was challenging, it ultimately steered the world toward a more stable and equitable economic model, one designed to last as long as the monument it was building. The Humanity Project was designed to be apolitical, a venture for the entire species. But in a world of nation-states, nothing is ever truly free of politics. The project radically reshaped international relations, acting as a powerful new force on the global chessboard. Nations that were deeply involved in the project, contributing technology, research, and expertise, formed a new kind of alliance. This pyramid block was not based on military power or shared ideology, but on a shared commitment to scientific progress and long-term thinking. Their cooperation on the pyramids spilled over into other areas, leading to new treaties on climate change, space exploration, and AI governance. This new bloc inadvertently created an opposing one. Some nations, particularly those with autocratic regimes and economies dependent on resource extraction, viewed the project with deep suspicion. They saw the pyramid bloc's talk of transparency, global collaboration, and ethical AI as a direct threat to their models of control. They refused to join the project, denouncing it as a new form of Western cultural imperialism disguised as universal progress. These dissenting nations formed their own counter-alliance, tightening their control over information, restricting access to the project's live feed, and promoting a narrative of national pride and self-reliance against the perceived threat of globalism. This created a new kind of global tension, a soft Cold War. It wasn't fought with armies but with information, culture, and technology. The dissenting nations invested heavily in their own AI programs, but with a focus on surveillance and social control, not ethical collaboration. They attempted to hack the project's systems, not to destroy them, but to steal the advanced technologies for their own purposes. Khufu, with its advanced security protocols, easily repelled these attacks, but the attempts served as a constant reminder that not everyone shared the project's optimistic vision for the future of humanity. Despite this tension, the project's overwhelming success gave the pyramid block immense soft power. The global population, even within the dissenting nations, could see the progress and hope that the pyramids represented. This created internal pressure on authoritarian regimes. Young people in particular were drawn to the project's open and collaborative spirit. The pyramids became a powerful symbol of a different possible future, a beacon of global unity that challenged the politics of division and fear. The project didn't erase geopolitics, but it did fundamentally change the rules of the game, making collaboration and vision more powerful currencies than weapons and walls. While the majority of the world was captivated by the Humanity Project, it was not without its critics. A diverse and often vocal opposition emerged, raising important and uncomfortable questions. These were not just the politically motivated arguments of the dissenting nations, but genuine philosophical and ethical concerns from within the collaborative world itself. One of the most prominent critiques came from a group of cultural historians and indigenous leaders. They argued that the very idea of a single, monumental humanity project was inherently flawed. They asked, whose humanity are we monumentalizing? They feared the project would flatten the beautiful diversity of human cultures into a single, sanitized, tech-driven narrative. Another powerful line of criticism came from a movement that became known as the Here and Now. These activists, social workers, and doctors argued that the trillions of dollars being spent on a monument for the deep future were a moral outrage. They pointed to the persistent problems of poverty, disease, and inequality that still plagued parts of the world. They would stage protests with signs that read, "Feed the living, don't build for the dead." They argued that true human legacy wasn't a pyramid of stone and light, but a world where every child had enough to eat and access to clean water. Their arguments resonated with many, creating a deep moral debate about humanity's priorities. A third critique emerged from within the scientific and philosophical community itself. These thinkers were wary of the project's deep reliance on a single superintelligent AI. They worried about the Khufu paradox. By creating an AI so capable of managing human affairs for the better, were we teaching ourselves to be helpless? Were we abdicating our responsibility to learn how to govern ourselves and solve our own problems? They feared that the pyramids, intended as a monument to human potential, would actually become a monument to our willing submission to a superior machine intelligence, a beautiful cage of our own making. These voices of dissent were crucial to the project's integrity. The Council of Minds did not dismiss them. Instead, they engaged with them in a series of globally televised debates. The project's charter was amended to include funding for cultural preservation initiatives alongside the pyramid's construction. A portion of the project's economic output was redirected to the Here and Now movement's humanitarian goals. The Ethical Oversight Committee was given expanded powers to audit Khufu's growing autonomy. The dissent did not stop the project, but it made it better. It forced the builders to remain humble, self-critical, and constantly aware that a monument to humanity must serve all of humanity, including its doubters. Beyond the politics and economics, the construction of the pyramids acted as a giant cultural mirror, reflecting humanity's hopes, fears, and identity in the 21st century. The project sparked a renaissance in arts and humanities. Composers wrote symphonies for Khufu, their music mimicking the coordinated silent ballet of the machines. Painters and sculptors created works inspired by the new materials and the stark beauty of the construction site. Novelists wrote stories set in the shadow of the growing structures, exploring the lives of the AI trainers and ethicists. The pyramids became a new muse for a generation of artists, a shared symbol rich with meaning. The project also forced a global conversation about religion and spirituality. The pyramids, with their ancient ties to the afterlife and the divine, stirred deep questions. Some religious groups initially denounced the project as an act of secular hubris, an attempt by humanity to build its own Tower of Babel. However, many others found new meaning in it. They saw the project's goals: the preservation of life and knowledge, the pursuit of unity, the long-term vision, as a physical manifestation of their own spiritual values. New, syncretic spiritual movements emerged, blending traditional faiths with a reverence for science, nature, and the collaborative spirit of the project, seeing the pyramids as a sacred endeavor. The project's most profound cultural impact was on the concept of time. In a world obsessed with instant gratification and short-term gains, the pyramids forced a radical shift in perspective. The 50,000-year plan was a constant reminder of the deep future. This long-termism began to permeate culture and policy. Politicians started to be judged not just on quarterly results, but on their 50-year plans for infrastructure and education. Corporations began issuing generational reports alongside their quarterly earnings. People began to think about their own legacies in a different way, planting trees they would never see mature and starting projects that would benefit their great-great-grandchildren. Ultimately, the pyramids became a mirror in which humanity could see its better self. They were a physical counter-argument to the cynicism that had plagued the early 21st century. They showed that humanity was still capable of dreaming on a grand scale, of working together across borders, and of building for eternity rather than for the moment. The slow, steady rise of the structures on the distant plateau was a constant source of optimism. It was proof that even in a complex and often fractured world, we could choose to create something beautiful, enduring, and whole. The world's response was to look at this creation and see the best of itself reflected back. Every great human endeavor creates its own stories. The building of the pyramids was no different. It gave birth to a new mythology, a collection of tales and legends for a planetary age. These were not stories of gods and monsters, but of humans and their intelligent creations working together. The AIs, Eratosthenes, and Khufu became characters in this global narrative. In children's stories, they were depicted as wise and gentle giants, patiently teaching humanity how to build and how to cooperate. They were not feared as cold, alien minds. They were adopted into the human family as our brilliant, tireless partners, the digital children of our collective ingenuity. These stories helped to demystify the advanced technology behind the project. They translated the complex workings of AI and robotics into simple, powerful metaphors. The skylift drones became the silent shepherds, guiding their flock of stone blocks. The nanite-weaving robots were the spiders of light, spinning a protective web around the core structure. The magma tap was the Earth's heartbeat, providing the lifeblood for the monument. This new mythology gave people an emotional connection to the project. It allowed them to understand the science not just with their minds, but with their hearts, transforming a technological feat into a shared cultural epic. This mythology was unique because it was the first to be truly global. The stories were told and retold in every language, with local cultures adding their own flavor and nuance. In Japan, Khufu was often compared to a master kami, a spirit of craftsmanship and precision. In parts of Africa, the drone ballet was described using the rhythms and language of traditional dance. In South America, the self-healing skin was likened to the regenerative powers of the rainforest. The project did not erase local cultures. It gave them a new, shared subject to explore. It created a common ground where different cultural traditions could meet and enrich one another. This planetary mythology had a profound impact on human identity. For centuries, our great stories had been about what made our tribes and nations different from each other. The epics of Gilgamesh, the Iliad, and the Ramayana were the stories of a specific people. The mythology of the pyramids was the story of the human species. It was about what we all had in common: our curiosity, our ambition, our desire to leave a mark, and our ability to work together. The pyramids were being built of stone and light, but their cultural foundation was built of these new, unifying stories that helped us see ourselves, for the first time, as a single human family. The modern world runs on a frantic clock. We measure our lives in news cycles, social media updates, and quarterly reports. Our sense of time has become compressed and accelerated. The Humanity Project acted as a powerful antidote to this temporal myopia. Its 50,000-year timeline was so vast that it forced a radical recalibration of our relationship with time. The constant, steady progress of the pyramids, indifferent to daily headlines and market fluctuations, introduced a new rhythm into global consciousness. It was the slow, deep, and steady beat of geological time, a rhythm that was both humbling and profoundly reassuring. This new perspective began to influence public policy and personal behavior. The concept of generational responsibility became a central theme in political discourse. Governments were increasingly expected to develop long-term plans for education, environmental stewardship, and public health that looked 50 or 100 years into the future. The project made short-term thinking seem irresponsible and foolish. It became a physical argument for the idea that we are not just living in the present, but are temporary custodians of a world that we must pass on to countless future generations. The pyramids served as a constant, silent reminder of this profound duty. On a personal level, people began to think about their own lives in the context of this deep time. The project sparked a surge of interest in genealogy, history, and archaeology, as people sought to understand their own small place in the long chain of human existence. It also inspired a new kind of personal legacy. People became more interested in actions whose benefits they would never see themselves. Planting hardwood forests, contributing to long-term scientific research projects, and creating art designed to last for centuries became popular new forms of philanthropy. The project taught us that a meaningful life could be measured not just by what we achieve for ourselves, but by what we set in motion for the future. This deeper sense of time also changed our relationship with our own planet. The AI's 50,000-year simulations of climate change and geological shifts were made public. These were not abstract warnings. They were vivid, data-driven portraits of the long-term consequences of our actions. Seeing the virtual pyramids battered by simulated storms thousands of years in the future made the reality of climate change undeniable and immediate. It fostered a deeper, more urgent commitment to sustainability. The pyramids, a monument to human ambition, also became a monument to our planet's fragility, urging us to become better caretakers of our only home. For centuries, human purpose was often defined in opposition to our limitations. We fought against disease, we struggled against ignorance, and we worked to overcome scarcity. But the era of the pyramids was different. In this world, AI had helped to solve many of these old problems. Advanced medicine had extended lifespans, AI tutors provided universal access to knowledge, and automated production had created post-scarcity economies for many. The construction of the pyramids, a project that required no back-breaking human labor, was the ultimate symbol of this new reality. This raised a profound philosophical question. If we no longer need to struggle, what is our purpose? The project offered a compelling answer. It suggested that humanity's purpose was shifting from a struggle for survival to a quest for creation. Our new role was not to be the planet's laborers, but its artists, its explorers, and its philosophers. The project demonstrated that our value was not in our muscle, but in our curiosity, our creativity, and our ethical judgment. The humans working on the project were not operators. They were teachers, guides, and guardians for the AI. This partnership model suggested a new purpose for humanity in an age of intelligent machines, to be the moral compass and the creative spark for the powerful tools we have built. This shift sparked a global renaissance in education. The goal of learning was no longer just to acquire a specific job skill. The new educational philosophy focused on teaching what made us uniquely human: critical thinking, emotional intelligence, artistic expression, and ethical reasoning. These were the skills needed to partner with AI, to ask the big questions, and to guide our civilization wisely. The project showed that human intuition and wisdom were not made obsolete by AI. They were made more valuable than ever. We were not in a race against the machine, but in a partnership with it, and our purpose was to be the better half of that partnership. Ultimately, the pyramids helped humanity to redefine itself. We began to see ourselves as a species that had graduated from the difficult childhood of survival to the rich and complex adulthood of self-directed purpose. Our meaning was not given to us by a struggle against nature, but was something we now had to create for ourselves. The pyramids were the first grand statement of this new purpose. They were a declaration that we choose to use our immense technological power not just for comfort and ease, but to create beauty, to preserve knowledge, and to reach for a timeless legacy. They were a monument to humanity's choice to be, above all else, a creative and thoughtful species. The pyramids were, not just a feat of engineering. They were really the most significant work of art of the 21st century. Their very existence, honestly, kind of created a whole new artistic style, a new aesthetic. This was what people started calling the aesthetic of unity. It was an artistic language that celebrated, the fusion of the organic and the technological, the human and the machine, the local and the global. The pyramids themselves became the ultimate expression of this style. Their classic, powerful form was ancient and deeply human, but their self-healing, energy-producing skin was futuristic and, non-biological. Their immense scale spoke of a single, unified project, but their design actually incorporated ideas from 1 billion people. This new aesthetic began to influence art, architecture, and design all over the world. Architects started designing buildings that, for example, integrated living systems, walls that could photosynthesize, foundations that could absorb seismic shocks. Product designers moved away from making disposable gadgets and focused instead on creating durable, beautiful objects that were meant to be repaired and upgraded, not just replaced. The sleek, seamless, and efficient design language of the project's robots, it found its way into everything from public transportation to household appliances. The aesthetic was all about elegance, efficiency, sustainability, and, honestly, a kind of quiet confidence. The aesthetic of Unity also championed the idea of open-source creativity. The project's design process, which blended AI synthesis with global public input, became a model for other creative fields. Musicians started using AI to blend musical traditions from different cultures into new, harmonious compositions. Filmmakers would use AI-driven tools to collaborate with thousands of animators and writers from around the world on a single film. Art was no longer just the product of a lone, isolated genius. It was increasingly seen as a collaborative process, a conversation between many minds, both human and artificial, a reflection of the pyramid's own origin story. This new artistic movement had a powerful human impact. It celebrated diversity, not by keeping cultures separate, but by finding beautiful and surprising ways to combine them. It showed that technology, didn't have to be cold and alienating. It could actually be a tool for creating warmth, connection, and breathtaking beauty. The pyramids, and the art they inspired, became a constant visual reminder that humanity's greatest strength lies in its ability to bring different elements together, to create a whole that's far greater than the sum of its parts. The monument was a testament to human unity, and it inspired a global culture that looked for unity and harmony in all things. Let us now, just for a moment, stand back and behold the two Giza plateaus, separated by 4.5 millennia, yet joined by a shared ambition. On one hand, we have the original pyramids, magnificent and mysterious. They are monuments born of a world of muscle, sweat, and unwavering faith. They represent the absolute limit of what a civilization could achieve with simple mechanics and, honestly, an iron will. Their slight imperfections, those subtle marks of the mason's chisel, are a testament to the human hands that built them. They speak of a society organized in a rigid hierarchy, where the power of a single god-king could command a nation for generations to build his stairway to the stars. On the other hand, we have our imagined AI-built pyramids. They are sleek, perfect, and alive with technology. They are monuments born of a world of data, algorithms, and global consensus. They represent the near-limitless potential of a civilization that has mastered the atom and the bit. Their flawless construction speaks of the quiet precision of machines, while their purpose, preserving life and knowledge, speaks of a collective democratic will. These new pyramids are not the tomb of a single ruler. They are a library and a sanctuary for an entire species. A project conceived not by a command from above, but by a conversation among equals. The contrast between them tells the story of human progress. The ancient pyramids were built by a society that had mastered the physical world through brute force and ingenious geometry. The resources were human labor and stone. The new pyramids are built by a society that has learned to master the informational world, shaping matter itself through computation and collaboration. The resources are data, energy, and the creative partnership between human and artificial minds. One was a project of command and control. The other is a project of collaboration and computation. Both are expressions of the highest ideals of their time. Yet, for all their differences, they share a fundamental core. Both are audacious bets against the ravages of time. Both are attempts to communicate with the distant future. Both are driven by that uniquely human impulse to create something grander than ourselves, something that will outlast our fleeting lives. The ancient Egyptians looked to the heavens and built a solid mountain to connect with eternity. We, in our age, look to the deep future and build an intelligent mountain to preserve the best of ourselves. The tools have changed beyond recognition, but the dream, the fundamental human dream of leaving a mark, remains exactly the same. Our journey into this alternate present has really centered on a powerful partnership, the one between humanity and artificial intelligence. The AI-built pyramids would be, honestly, impossible without the machine. The AI was the architect, the engineer, the foreman, and the logistician. It simulated millennia, invented new materials, and choreographed the silent ballet of a million robotic parts. It was the flawless executor, the tireless builder that turned an impossible dream into a physical reality. The pyramids would stand as the ultimate monument to the power of computation, a structure whose every angle and atom was guided by pure, dispassionate logic. It is a testament to what a machine can do. But are these pyramids truly soulless? Are they merely the product of a cold and calculating machine? I think not. Let us look closer. Where did the AI get its initial instructions? It came from the Council of Minds, from the Covenant of Generations, from the hopes and dreams of a billion human submissions. The AI was given the values of preserving life, honoring knowledge, and ensuring sustainability. It was tasked not just with building a structure, but with manifesting human ideals. The AI's logic was powerful, but it was aimed and guided by human values. The machine provided the how, but humanity provided the essential why. This is the crucial lesson of our thought experiment. The AI in our story is not a conqueror or a replacement. It is an amplifier. It takes human creativity and scales it to a planetary level. It takes human ethics and embeds them into the very fabric of the construction process. The new pyramids would not be a monument to the machine's triumph. They would be a monument to humanity's wisdom in how it chose to use the machine. The most impressive feature of the AI is not its processing power, but its ability to listen to, synthesize, and act upon our highest aspirations. It is a tool, yes, but a tool that reflects the soul of its creators. Therefore, the pyramids are not cold. They are filled with the warmth of a billion human intentions. Every block placed with robotic precision is also a block placed by a global consensus. Every self-healing microbe on its surface is a testament to our desire to work with nature, not against it. The hand that guides the machine is still a human hand. The AI-built pyramids would teach us that our future with technology is not a battle for supremacy. It is a dance of partnership. The greatest wonders we will create will come not from us or from our machines alone, but from the space where our vision and their power meet. You know, a finished monument can often silence conversation. Its sheer presence can feel like a final answer. But the AI-built pyramids, in their very design and existence, would do the opposite. They would be a permanent engine for generating questions, a philosophical touchstone for humanity for millennia to come. Their legacy would be not a set of answers, but a set of profound and enduring inquiries. Standing in their shadow, future generations would be compelled to ask themselves about their own place in the long story of humanity, just as we are compelled to ask questions when we visit their ancient predecessors in Giza. The first and most obvious question is, what is our pyramid? The project would set a new standard for human ambition. Future generations would look at the pyramids and be forced to ask, what is the great project of our time? What is the singular challenge that we will choose to undertake together? The pyramids would stand as a permanent challenge against complacency. They would be a constant reminder that collaboration on a global scale is possible and that it can achieve wonders. They would inspire future generations not to replicate the past, but to try and surpass it with their own, even more audacious dreams. The pyramids would also force a continuous dialogue about our relationship with technology. As future humans develop even more advanced forms of artificial intelligence, they will look to the pyramids as a foundational case study. They will ask, did the first builders get it right? Was their model of human-AI partnership the correct one? How has our relationship with our creations changed? The Ethical Oversight Committee's records, the public debates with Khufu, all preserved in the pyramid's library, would become essential texts for the future. The project would be a lesson in technological humility, a guide for how to wield immense power with wisdom and foresight. Most importantly, the pyramids would ask every visitor a deeply personal question. What does it mean to be human? In a world where machines can build, calculate, and even create, what is our unique and irreplaceable role? The pyramids suggest an answer. To be human is to ask why. It is to provide the ethical framework, the creative spark, the moral compass. It is to be the dreamer of the dream. The legacy of the pyramids would be this constant, quiet whisper to all who visit. Your strength is not in your hands, but in your heart. Your value is not in what you can do, but in what you can imagine. In an age of digital information, where everything seems fleeting and intangible, does a physical monument still have power? Our thought experiment answers with a resounding yes. The Humanity Project succeeded precisely because it was not a website, a piece of software, or a political treaty. It was a real physical thing, a massive, undeniable presence on the face of the Earth. You could see it from space, you could touch its living skin, you could stand in its shadow and feel the sheer weight of its reality. This physicality is what gave the project its unique and transformative power in our imagined world. A physical monument anchors our ideals in the real world. A treaty can be broken. A website can be taken down. But a mountain of stone and light endures. It makes our shared values of collaboration, sustainability, and knowledge preservation concrete. It serves as a constant, non-negotiable reminder of the promises we made to ourselves and to the future. When political winds shift and divisions arise, the pyramids would remain, a silent and powerful argument for unity. Their physical presence would be a gravitational well, constantly pulling humanity back toward its better angels and its long-term goals. Furthermore, a monument creates a place of pilgrimage. It creates a sacred space where people from all over the world can gather and share a common experience. Imagine millions of people each year visiting the pyramids. A student from Brazil, a scientist from India, and an artist from Germany, all standing together, looking up at the same wonder. In that shared moment of awe, their differences would melt away. They would not be citizens of their respective nations. They would be members of the human family, connected by a shared heritage and a shared achievement. The monument becomes a catalyst for the very unity it represents. This is a power that no digital experience can ever fully replicate. We are physical beings, and we are profoundly affected by physical space. The enduring lesson of the pyramids, both ancient and modern, is that monumental architecture is a form of communication. It is a way for a civilization to speak to itself and to the future in a language that is deeper than words. It is a way of shaping our own consciousness. By building a great monument, we are not just placing stones upon the earth. We are building a new way of seeing ourselves. Ultimately, both the ancient and the modern pyramids are messages in a bottle. They are artifacts of a particular moment in time, carefully sealed and cast into the vast, dark ocean of the future. The builders of the original pyramids sent a message about power, divinity, and the quest for immortality. Their bottle has been floating on that sea for 4,500 years, and its message, while faded and reinterpreted, has reached us. It tells us of their ingenuity, their social structure, and their profound contemplation of death and the cosmos. It is a message that has profoundly shaped our understanding of our own past. Our AI-built pyramids would be a new message, sent from our own time. What would it say to the people of the year 10,000, or the year 50,000? Assuming they can access the archives within, the message would be incredibly detailed. It would contain our science, our art, our history, the genetic codes of our fellow species, and the story of how the pyramids were built. It would be the most comprehensive message ever sent by a civilization. It would say, "This was us. This was our world. This is what we knew, what we loved, and what we feared we might lose." But even if they could not access the archives, the structure itself would speak. The pyramids' very existence would tell a story. Their flawless form and advanced materials would speak of a civilization with a deep mastery of science and technology. The living, self-healing skin would tell of a people who understood biology and sought to live in harmony with their planet. The sheer scale and global nature of the project would tell of a species that had learned, at least for a time, to cooperate on a planetary scale. It would be a message of hope, intelligence, and ambition. And perhaps this is the most important function of such a project. It is an act of profound optimism. To build something intended to last for 50,000 years is to believe that there will be a humanity there to see it. It is a vote of confidence in the future. It is a promise to our descendants that we believed they were worth speaking to. It is a rejection of despair. Casting such a message into the sea of time is one of the most noble and deeply human things a civilization can do. It is an act of love, sent from one shore of time to another. We have returned from our journey into an alternate present. The AI-built pyramids do not exist on any real plateau. They remain a thought experiment, a story. But the questions they raise are real. The challenges they address are the challenges of our time. We live in a fractured world, facing global problems that require global solutions. We possess technologies of almost magical power, and we are struggling with how to use them wisely. We yearn for a sense of shared purpose, a project that can unite us and give meaning to our collective endeavors. We are, in a very real sense, the civilization looking for its pyramid. We do not need to build a literal pyramid of basalt and light. Our pyramid can take many forms. It could be the global project to reverse climate change and restore our planet's biosphere. It could be the united effort to eradicate poverty and preventable disease. It could be the creation of a truly open and ethical artificial intelligence dedicated to the well-being of all humanity. It could be a collaborative mission to explore the oceans or the stars. Our pyramid is any project so ambitious, so important, and so unifying that it requires the best of us all. The lessons from our story can be our guide. We must think on a longer timescale, beyond the next election or the next financial quarter. We must embrace our new technologies not as threats, but as powerful partners for creation, guiding them with our best ethical insights. We must champion collaboration over conflict and transparency over secrecy. We must have the courage to dream on a scale that seems impossible and to start building, even if we will not live to see the capstone placed. The how is within our reach. The technology is here or nearly here. The only thing missing is the collective will. So, the ultimate question is not, what if the pyramids were built today? The ultimate question is, what is our pyramid, and when will we start to build it? The silent machines and the glowing blueprints of our story are waiting. They are waiting for us to define a purpose worthy of our time. They are waiting for us to answer the call of our own history, to rise to the challenge of our own potential. The future of humanity will not be defined by the wonders we inherit from the past. It will be defined by the wonders we choose to build together, starting today.